just like we said, this was going to happen. Israel and Iran, World War III, another phase, another front in World War III. We warned you.
We did warn you about...
We warned you this would happen, and it's just the beginning.
It's true. We did warn you.
Welcome back, everybody, to Two Deans and No Waiting. My name is Dean.
And my name is Dean.
Unfortunately...
Yeah, this is bad.
This is very bad. And like Dean and I were saying a while back, we'd like to do more shows, but we're both busy because it seems like, within 24 hours, everything has gone to hell in a handbasket.
Oh, I know.
We've gone from civil unrest to the second Civil War to World War III, you name it. Well, what else? What else is going to happen?
I don't know about World War III.
Well, World War III.
Good Lord, I hope not.
This could lead to Armageddon. Are you serious? Look what's going on. Netanyahu gone wild.
It depends. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I am not a fan of Netanyahu.
Either one of us are fans.
Yes, we are not. We are not. That Polish guy.
Yeah, right. He's actually from Poland, not
even
Palestine
Israeli.
or Israel. Not even right. Exactly. So insane. I wanted to start off with, like I talked about. Israel bombing Iran. For those of you that are libertarian and voted for Trump, and I know I've supported some of the things, this I don't. I don't buy this bullshit that they had no idea this was going to happen.
Oh, okay, give me a break.
When they've been evacuating cities they've been evacuating the embassy in Iran.
Yeah,
they've been probably doing it all month.
Yeah, all of our ambassadors, all of the government workers that were over there, they've all bugged out.
Well, Trump even kind of admitted to it. He said, well, we gave them 60 days.
Yeah.
So now this is the 61st.
Well,
so maybe they'll reconcile now and understand that they're not going to make a deal now. Yeah, well, it's done. It's over.
No, they're not going to make a deal. And on top of that, though, Israel doesn't do anything without our say-so. We back them with our money.
Of course.
And we tell them what to do.
Listen, Trump is not a king, but he is a Zionist.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He's a Zionist.
Yes. So, so that's going on.
This
is bad. No, people are dying already.
Talk about my take. I think we talked on air before. We even talked on our show if this happened. The hypothetical. It's not hypothetical no more. Anymore. But Iran's going to respond. Okay, they're going to respond by 2 or 3 scenarios. I personally believe they're going to either bomb oil fields. Already, gas and oil have gone up 13%.
What?
They've gone up.
I paid the same thing.
They've gone up. You haven't seen it yet, but it will.
Well, here's the problem.
It's gone up 13% already.
Here's my problem with that. We don't buy any oil from Iran. None. Zero. Zilch.
But 20% of the Earth's oil is shipped to the Strait of Hormuz. Now, like I said, the 3 scenarios that you're going to watch for: Iran could create a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, which could cause, oh my God. The market took a shit today. Gas could go up to like $15, $20 a gallon. Yes, okay. So that's one possible scenario. Another possible scenario is they start blowing up oil fields and then U.S. military bases. Pick your choice. Pick your poison. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I don't...
Because they're not going to roll over and play dead.
Well, as far as the oil goes, they might do that. But like I said, we don't buy anything from them.
But it's going to affect oil prices everywhere.
And blockade the Strait of Hormuz with what?
With what? They can do it because they have access to it. They can create a blockade if they wanted to, trust me. With their military ships, with their naval ships.
Their military naval ships.
Well, it doesn't matter. It could cause a friction in our economy but you know what?
It would slow things down because they're trying to do it, but they're not going to. A successful blockade? No way.
Okay, all right, but
I don't believe that.
So either way, like I said, one of those 3 scenarios could pan out, and this scares me big time. And another thing that scares me is which was something I wanted to talk about.
Hold on now. The problem with that, though, let me say this. These oil companies are going to gouge us no matter what because they can blame it on this. This is what drives me nuts. We don't buy any oil from there.
But this is
But here's Exxon and Mobil. Yeah, no problem. That's going to go up $3.
This is much bigger than just oil prices.
Well, I understand that.
This could cause a regional war.
Yes, I agree.
And this is what Iran wants. And that son of a bitch Netanyahu, how ironic. did this on Friday the 13th, by the way. How ironic, right? It was Friday the 13th.
Was it Friday? Yeah, it was over there Friday. Wasn't it?
Number two, he knows that there's domestic tension right now in our country and possible civil unrest that could span from Maine to California, and this causes more political strife. He could have waited a week to do it, but specifically did it on the week of all this stuff going on with non-government organizations and all these protesters, the hired provocateurs, and you know that there's issues between people right now that are pro-Palestine and people that are pro-Israel. This is a bad time to do it. Perfect time for him. He keeps out of jail still, by the way.
This is a perfect time for Trump as well. You're wrong on that because, like I just said, Israel doesn't do a damn thing without us.
How the fuck you mean I'm wrong on what? What am I wrong on? What I'm telling you is this is perfect for Netanyahu.
Yeah, I understand that. But it's also perfect for Trump.
Wrong. Well, I'm not disregarding Trump.
No.
Look, this war was started way before Trump.
No.
Trump is backing Israel. Okay,
well, we've always backed Israel.
All right,
doesn't matter who the president is.
That hasn't changed.
Right, it's not that good.
That hasn't changed.
That needs to.
But what I'm telling you is this, okay? This war was going to happen regardless because it's all a part of the plan, okay? It's a part of the greater Israeli project. I don't care if Jimmy Carter were president. This war would have happened regardless. Trump is just a figurehead in this, okay? He's backing Netanyahu, I know that. Okay, just like every other U.S. president.
So then how's he a figurehead if he's backing him?
He's backing him because
he's a Zionist.
Of course he's a Zionist.
But that's not a figurehead.
Well, yeah, figurehead is a figurehead. He's the front guy. He's a front guy because there's other people making moves too. Trump is doing what others want.
Right.
Okay, whether he wants to or not, he's going to back Israel.
I think he's doing a lot here with the backing of others, that whether he wants to or not.
Okay.
I think he's been compromised like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, we already know. We've talked about that a million times. But what scares me is what's the military anticipating? You know that they're...
Our military?
Well, our military, apparently from
they're anticipating a parade.
Well,
that's
all right.
ridiculous.
Okay, they're anticipating a parade. Sure, that's all. It's just all about a parade, and there's nothing else going on.
No.
Well, now, what a perfect time for...
Show's over.
Hold on. Yeah, right. Let's go home. Because it's just a parade. We just want a parade. It's more than just a parade, bro. I mean, there's about 20 cities right now, from what I understand, and... people have been telling me that there's sources saying that there's military soldiers on the ground in states like Phoenix. Apparently, are they getting ready for civil unrest? Or are they getting ready for a false flag?
Well,
are they getting ready for a dirty bomb to go off?
These are guardsmen they have up there now.
I'm not talking National Guards. I'm talking also
about
military. But you know that Trump is sending, 7,000 federal, actually Marines to California?
700.
Oh, I thought it was 7,000. Now they changed to 700?
No, it's always been 700.
No,
it's not 7,000.
He's not sending 7,000 troops to California.
No, what it is he had sent 2,000 National Guardsmen.
Well, okay,
that's
fine.
Then he sent another 2,000, making 4,000, and now the 700 Marines.
I heard there was more like 5,000 or 7,000 soldiers
not yet.
Well, not yet, but it's going. Okay, and that's another thing. This
is a huge problem.
It is everything. I'm telling you, it's like this is freaking. You got almost a potential civil war, World War III, and
we said yesterday briefly when we were talking. Remember what I said? What are Marines trained to do?
They're trained to kill.
Why would you send the Marines?
Okay, but that's the thing. Unless there's something else going on. A lot of voices are saying, look, either way it's bad.
No, yeah.
Either way, it's not a good thing either way you look at it. Either they're anticipating dirty bombs going off or
I don't think that's
well, hold on. Well, let me finish. I don't. How do you know? I mean, right now, Israel is because Israel would love a great excuse to expand the war.
I don't. No.
And can you imagine a few bombs going off right now, a false flag to blame? Where else? Why not?
No, I don't believe that's going to happen.
Well, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't
believe that's going to happen. That's my opinion.
I'm just saying, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
I don't think that's the case. I think this is a power struggle. Listen, Trump has been losing. He likes wins. He wants to win something.
Power struggle? What type of power struggle are you talking about?
Between him and the governor.
Okay, I'm talking geopolitical. I'm not talking what's going on in California. I'm kind of talking about that, but what I'm saying is people are saying, you won't even give me the fucking floor all of a sudden.
You just told me.
What I'm saying is this, dude, that, and let me finish. I don't want to hear your opinion. This is what people are telling me.
You don't want to hear my opinion?
Not yet. Okay, let me finish what I got to say. Let me finish what I have to say.
You never let me finish.
Because the colonel couldn't come. That's why you're
the colonel's not here. I know.
I know. We were going to have the colonel here today. We were going to.
I am so disappointed that he was unable to make it. Okay, I really am. He's a very nice man.
What we were going to talk about was the eyes of the Civil War through the South.
Oh, yeah, we were,
And how ironic he was supposed to come today, and we're possibly in the midst of a second Civil War. And I wanted to talk about how, are you...
Go ahead. Okay. I'm done. I didn't interrupt.
Okay, I can feel tension already. Let me finish what I'm saying, okay?
I am.
Okay, what I wanted to say was, how, Lincoln sent soldiers to the South to fight Southerners that had nothing to do with the so-called slave trade, and he killed innocent Southerners, which basically started the Civil War, kind of like how Lincoln today is sending
Lincoln today?
I'm sorry. Kind of like Trump today is sending troops. Supposedly, when I hear he was going to send troops to California, you're telling me otherwise, but nevertheless, send troops to California to stop the civil unrest, which could lead into something even bigger, because you have Governor DeSantis, who's talking about, and other law enforcement, that are giving basically the green light to citizens to basically, if they feel threatened, to kill protesters.
Okay.
Now, you didn't read about that.
No, I did not.
Okay, well, you're all right. Well, I'm just telling you right now that there are law enforcements and there are governors like Governor DeSantis that are basically telling people like you and I, if you feel threatened by protester, you can run them over in your car.
Okay.
And also, police force is saying they're going to use extreme force against protesters.
In Florida, yeah. I seen
Wherever.
that. I saw that part.
It could spread like wildfire, but that's what I'm saying. This is how civil unrest and wars can start. But like I said, there's so many things going on right now that, some craziness, right? We go from protests to now Benjamin Netanyahu dropping bombs on Iran, which we knew would happen.
Sooner or later, yeah.
And that could start a total regional war.
Okay, so first off, the Civil War. They broke off. The South broke off into their own country.
They wanted to govern themselves.
Right. Well, then Lincoln sent down troops because he didn't want that. Okay. That's what happened.
But nevertheless...
Well, you said they were killing them because of the slave trade. Well, no, that's not what it was. They didn't kill innocent people.
Well,
I'm sure they did, but
they did kill innocent people the same way Netanyahu killed innocent people last night by dropping bombs on Tehran.
But that doesn't bother him. He's killed 55,000.
Of course not. He's a tyrant.
Over 55,000 innocent people in Gaza.
He's a tyrant.
His open-air prison.
I know. He doesn't want to go to jail, and he'll do anything to avoid going to jail.
He's going to jail.
And
I hope he goes to jail.
Well, every time they want to prosecute this son of a bitch, something happens.
Yeah. Well, of his own doing.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
And that was 2 days before I heard that. But let me finish what I was saying about posse comitatus and how I disagree with federal powers over state powers. Because basically, hold on, it's very similar to the Civil War in this regard, okay? Because the South wanted to govern itself. The state of California wants to kind of govern itself and doesn't want... But it's so funny how hypocritical this is. Because, the most people who voted for Trump were conservative, and there's a lot of conservatives now that are, hey, federal power over state power.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I was going to bring that up.
Exactly.
That's insane.
So now it's switched, But
Right.
if you're for the Constitution, you should be for the Constitution.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that Gavin Gruesome Newsom is for the Constitution, because he kind of, forgot all about the Constitution when they shut the whole state of California down and kind of force vaccinated people. Certain companies did. I know the government did. I know the military did. You know, they kind of, each side plays that, you know, Democrats play
Sure
that.
they do.
The good
Absolutely.
cop, bad cop. But let me finish before you
Yeah.
interrupt me and I get pissed and start flipping
I'm not
tables.
the
again.
interrupter
I know,
here.
just wait a minute. But what I'm saying is there's something hypocritical if you're a conservative and now all of a sudden you want the president to send troops
I
into
agree.
the state of California. I think it should be the National Guard. It shouldn't be the military to be sent over into California. That's dangerous.
It should be the National Guard, absolutely. However, the National Guard should be under the direction of the governor. If the governor didn't deem that they needed them, they shouldn't be there. The president overstepped and sent them there anyway because he doesn't care about laws. He doesn't seem to care about law.
What president does?
Oh, I'm just saying, this is the first time this has happened since 1965 when LBJ sent people, or the guard to Little Rock, I want to say.
Little Rock, Arkansas?
Yeah, so that these kids could go to school.
Yeah, you're going back, right.
Well, that's what it is.
Right, exactly.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the last time that the Guard has been federalized.
I'm all about the Constitution and the Posse Comitatus Act
Right.
of 1787.
Right.
17
I think so, something like that.
Says that the United States military is prohibited to domestically police its own people.
Right.
So I agree with you for once.
Right.
That we shouldn't send the military, which is trained to kill, like we said.
Yeah, that's what they're for.
Instead, we have the National Guard. So in this right, I know the governor, he's not my favorite.
Not mine either.
He's not my favorite, and see, this could turn into something really bad.
Let me ask you that. Okay, so the Lakers won the NBA Finals a couple of years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and they had riots, much like we did here when the Tigers won.
Yeah, no, in 1984.
Okay,
Yeah,
was
they
the
didn't send
National Guard
No,
in for any of those?
course.
This was
No,
a so
of
much
course not.
smaller scale. I mean, it's just insane that this was even done.
It's a small scale now, but it
When-
could
no,
get bad.
no,
Or-
when it- when it
you're
started-
okay, you're talking about the.
The other day when it started, there was like,
Well.
okay, so ICE was going to Home Depot and getting the day laborers. Listen, and let me be clear on this. If you're an illegal alien, you're here undocumented and you shouldn't be here, you should be deported.
True.
Okay?
Yes.
However, they don't need to have these ICE agents in tactical gear with frickin' machine guns or wherever the hell they have, and all this crap masked, not telling them who they are, not saying what's going on, and just grabbing people off the streets. This is what happened. They did this there. A crowd assembled. There were about 100 people, and they started yelling at the ICE agents. So then the cops came to, police the area, and they made about 12 arrests. Trump heard about it, sent in the National Guard. That's what happened. This
Trump
is
heard about it,
insane.
yeah.
And then, so that
well-
basically escalated the tension.
Well,
and
well, the
you do
media-
have guys that are going to be there. They lit cars on fire and all that.
Those
of course,
guys-
you're not supposed to be doing that.
Those guys are hired provocateurs.
Maybe.
By non-government. A lot of them are hired provocateurs.
Okay, but-
there isn't grassroots movement here. There's not a
ICE is
grassroots.
a hired provocateurs in this case.
Well, look. I
They started all this crap.
Well, no. ICE has been doing what they've been doing for, like I told you a long
Not
time
like
ago.
this.
Like I've been told you a long time
Not
ago.
like this.
They deport people. Obama deported more
Yes,
people than
absolutely.
anybody ever.
I think
and they
Biden
never
did.
promoted it. They never showed it. But now that Trump, look, they play the good cop, bad cop.
Listen,
I know that.
I'm just saying,
I
there's
know.
no reason for this tactical gear. The militarizing this place.
Listen, Dean, you have to understand, there is an entity out there that wants to see America go into a civil war.
Well,
okay, and they're
okay.
pushing for it.
And
I'm not
also-
saying it's going to happen, but it very well could. And this is why I disagree with the president sending troops
Right,
over
yeah,
into
he shouldn't have done
California.
that.
But like I was trying to explain before, there are 20 other cities I hear that there's military soldiers on the ground right now getting ready for something big. But other
I have
people,
not
hold
heard
on,
that.
but other people are saying, okay, that it's not for civil, it's not for civil unrest, it's for something else. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because not even 24 hours after I hear that, Israel bombs Iran. So now, are they going to stage something here? Are they going to nuke a city here to blame whoever the fuck they want? They got the soldiers ready to declare martial law, to keep us locked down? I'm just talking about this. And that's what this show is, to bring awareness. I could be wrong. But there's something going on. I could be right too, because there's something going on and there's something strange going on. A lot of people are anticipating something huge that's going to happen this weekend. But I usually don't go by dates. I usually don't, because when stuff happens, it happens. We usually don't know about it, you know. But I mean, just like I heard 5 days ago that, oh, they're evacuating embassies in Iran. Oh, really? So,
yeah,
in preparation.
Yeah,
of
we
what?
heard
It
that.
happened.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
talking about that.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. So I want to name off the cities, and I want the people out there.
Okay, so
hold on. I want people out there to send me an email if they know anything, or send us through YouTube.
the comments.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Through the comments.
Okay, so I'm looking here, and it says these National Guardsmen are on alert. They're ready to go for the weekend.
Well, who
like
knows?
in Chicago,
Yeah, okay.
Detroit, New
well,
York,
okay,
that
from
kind of
what
that
I'm
kind of
hearing
stuff.
is 15 states: Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, New York, Chicago, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Minneapolis, Denver, Atlanta, Boston, Tampa, Omaha, Phoenix. If people know,
Those are cities.
Of cities, whatever. And, well, of course. No, I don't know. I don't know it's a fucking city. Of course,
You
it's
said
a city.
states. I don't-
These are the cities and the states they preside in.
Right.
Okay. If they know anything, please contact us. Send us something. If you see anything peculiar, or you see tanks, or you see military on the street, let us know, because we would like to know. We'd like to report it. Now, you're going to one of those events on Saturday.
I'm going tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, tape it, and you should put it on our,
Well,
so that people can watch or
You're
whatever.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna take pictures.
Take pictures if your wife will let you.
No, she'll let me.
Oh, okay, all right. Take pictures, not of the girls walking around in fucking tight ass
I'm
fucking
not
shorts.
doing that.
But please take videos, because definitely want to know what's going to go on down there, and keep your eyes open.
Right.
Who knows?
Well, no, you never know.
By tomorrow, you could wake up and oil fields in the Middle East are on fire. Would you be surprised?
No.
And gas goes up $10 a gallon.
Yep. Because even though
then-
we don't buy it from there,
Because then the market will crash.
yeah, it might.
Oh, of course.
So
That's
this-
part of the plan.
So there's market here too. I mean, let's talk about that if you want.
The financial market that is just barely hanging on.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that voted for Trump just because they wanted a good economy again, and he did during his first term. He did have a good economy until the pandemic happened.
The scamdemic.
Whatever you want to call it, until that happened, he had a great economy. You got to admit that. You've got to admit that.
Look, you're right.
And so I kind of understood why they were voting for him in that respect. And ever since he's got in, though.
But what about anti-war? Look. I'm not blaming him for the economy. I can't.
You're not.
Hold on. I can't.
Who are we supposed to blame?
I can't. I told you who to blame.
With his
Okay.
tariffs and all that, and
What about the Federal Reserves? What do they do?
Listen.
Wait.
Wait,
What's
now you're
their
not
job?
letting me finish. Now you're not letting me finish.
What's their job? Let's print more money. Let's print more money.
You're not
Let's
letting me
lower interest.
finish.
Let's lower and raise interest at will.
Who's
cause
interrupting?
bubbles.
Who's
I mean,
interrupting?
Look. You gonna let me finish with the Federal
No, I'm
Reserve?
not going to let you finish because I was talking.
They're the reason why
You don't
the
let me
dollar
finish
sucks.
ever.
The
You don't let me finish.
The
You're
Federal
not letting me
Res-
finish, Dean.
the
Dean, you're not letting me
Federal-
finish.
The Federal
Dean, you're not letting me
Reserves
finish.
suck.
You are
okay?
not letting me finish.
And if you don't know that the Federal Reserve suck, then you need to fucking quit watching lamestream video.
Okay. First off, we already know how you feel about the Federal Reserve.
Okay,
and
they're
you're
a
right.
major part.
And you're right.
Okay.
However, I was talking. Trump said day one, everything's going to go down in prices, and I'm going to fix the economy, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He put in these stupid ass tariffs that don't work, by the way. We both said that. And here we are.
Because he shit or get off the pot.
Well,
I
that
said
too.
that before
Well,
too.
they just don't
Look,
work.
well, hold on. No. What he's doing is he
and
keeps.
now you're interrupting me again.
It's like
Once
telling,
again, I cannot finish.
It's like telling your. It's
insane.
like telling your kid. Look, I'm gonna hit you if you do that.
I'm
and then you don't hit him.
I'm reliving my youth with my parents.
I know, that's right. And
Because
I
he
feel
keeps
sorry
interrupting
for
me.
his parents.
I feel
because
sorry for
I
him.
understand why they're crazy.
Well, then
okay, then go ahead.
Your parents.
Go ahead.
They gotta be nuts by now.
Yeah, okay. Hurry up, go ahead before I shut the lights off.
I'm grounded.
Yeah. Or we get kicked out.
So yes, I agree. That also contributed to it because he was saying, "I'm going to have these tariffs on these cars." Wait a minute, not the cars. Wait a minute, only this kind of car. Wait a minute, I'm going to have tariffs on this. Wait, not high tech. I mean, it's insane that when he took over, the stock market was at 40,000.
Oh yeah, because Biden did such a fucking great job.
Well, it went up when he was in there.
Hold on, it went up. What went up?
Not
the
that he-
dollar's been weaker since. Look, I blame Trump too.
The market was
because,
up.
It was up, right? That's synthetic. It's phony.
It was at 40,000.
They keep pumping money into this. They put Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's just a matter of time before it all crashes. Trust the plan. That's the plan. They want to crash the market. They want World War III. They want all this stuff. So they have an excuse to create a whole new system. It's order out of chaos. This is something that's been going on for 50 years. Ever since the death of the dollar, to me, was Bretton Woods, and we discussed that. And I told you how they're leaving that system to create a whole new system. To go back to the Trump
and where it is now.
To go back to the
20,000 points down.
Go back to the. Well, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah,
I wonder what happened
why
of 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, that wasn't a good move
hold on.
by the Zionist. You know. Hold on. Wait.
That happened 24 hours ago.
No. Okay.
And we're down 158 points.
We're down 158.
That's
points.
it. That's nothing.
It's just the beginning. It's just going to get worse. That's it. Okay, they're not going to fix anything.
It's been getting worse.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you.
If
when
you
he took over, it was at 40 grand. Now it's at 20.
It was just everything was just great.
Didn't say it was great.
When they shut everything down,
it was up.
Look,
that's all I said. It was up. I didn't say that Biden was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Of course he wasn't. He couldn't take a shit without wiping his ass. But nevertheless, the guy wasn't running anything. We know that. Well, he couldn't wipe his ass. He had to take a shit, and somebody had to wipe it for him. What do you mean it don't make sense?
Well, no, that's not what you said. You said he couldn't take a shit without wiping his ass. What are you talking about?
He needed government assistance for that.
I think Trump might need it now.
Okay.
79. He's turning 79 on Saturday. I can't wait.
Okay, yeah, and people are anticipating something big to happen. I don't know, but there is some craziness going on.
Where's Doge?
What about Doge?
Well, we're throwing this parade for 45 million. That's a waste. We don't need this parade.
Well, how much money did it cost to bomb Iran yesterday with our tax dollars?
Well, that too. And you know that.
I bet it cost more.
I bet you I didn't want that either.
No, I didn't want
this
that
is
either.
insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not for war, and I understand
we're not.
that.
You know I'm not
but
for
look,
war.
The economy hasn't been the same since 2008. Okay, ever since the big scam of the Goldman Sachs,
the Bush Cheney crime syndicate.
Well, we know that the Bush Cheney crime syndicate, but it was also Goldman Sachs and Wall Street and the Wall Street
working in
banks
concert
that have totally destroyed the whole country, and things haven't been the same since.
No, I agree.
It goes back to the Federal Reserves. It goes back to Wall Street. It goes back to the corruption.
I agree.
I mean, it's a corruption that goes. This isn't just something that just happened during one administration. This goes back 15, 20 years.
Well, it goes back to the Bush Cheney crime syndicate.
Of course it does. And ever since the establishment of this stupid fiat currency. Oh, what do you think? And Bretton Woods and no more gold backing the dollar? It's just based on faith. Nixon, I told you.
Oh, Nixon did that. That's right.
Yeah, Nixon did that. And I mean, look where we're at today. Yep. Civil unrest, World War III.
Okay.
Armageddon, mass hysteria.
Dogs sleeping with cats.
Right. Wear a condom if you do.
All right.
Welcome back to Two Deans in Waiting.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the other countries that are involved in this bombing of Iran, which I am against. I want to make that perfectly clear. I am against it. Okay, so China gets, I want to say the bulk of its oil from Iran.
From Iran, yes.
And I think Russia?
Yes.
Russia gets a lot of their oil from them?
So, no, Russia's got their own oil. They don't. Russia's
they still buy from.
I don't think they buy from Iran. No, Russia doesn't buy from anybody. Russia's self-sufficient. They don't buy anybody's oil like we do. They're not stupid like that.
Well,
they use their own oil, and that's what Putin does good, right? He uses his oil and expands his own interest through it. So Russia's pretty self-sufficient. It's us that I worry about. because we're not totally 100% free from foreign oil. I think they're kind of starting now. But to go back on China, yeah, you're right. China does get the majority of
They get a lot of oil from them.
They get all it, because China doesn't produce any oil. They don't have any oil.
613,000 barrels per day. This is from 2019, so they're probably more than that.
So China would be pretty upset if
This
a
happened.
barrel of oil.
Oh, you're right. Russia doesn't buy from them.
If oh gee, what do you know? I'm right again.
Oh,
China,
gee, oh, come on.
China would be very upset if a barrel of oil went over $400.
Oh, yeah.
It would possibly bankrupt their economy.
Well-
but when all else fails, they take it to war.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say they just go over and take it. India gets a lot of their oil from them. South Korea, Japan, and Turkey. They're the major players here.
Wow.
So Turkey, remember, did we not say that there was a military buildup in Turkey? And at the border of Turkey and Greece, was it?
No,
Do you
not
remember that?
Greece. Oh, I would know.
Do you remember when we were talking about that, though?
I was talking about Russia had a military buildup, supposedly like 3-4 weeks ago, getting ready to do a major offensive in Kharkiv, I think, in Ukraine. But that hasn't happened. But, since we're talking about Ukraine, we're still funding money. They're still probably laundering money.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
still wasting tax dollars. You talk about a bad economy. Well, there you go. We keep printing money and giving it what? We don't put it back into the system to make our economy grow. You can blame every president since Eisenhower for that, because how many wars have we fucking been in?
Well, we've been in perpetual war.
Year after decade after decade. And
We're not in a war right now.
Well,
Yet.
it's a proxy. They're all proxy
Yeah.
wars.
Oh, that's true.
They're all by proxy.
Yeah.
So you know that we're funding all these wars. This thing with Iran and Israel, man, I'm telling you, you can go home tonight, man, and tomorrow morning you wake up and the world has changed in the blink of an eye.
So-
anything can happen.
So there was a military buildup
Okay.
between Turkey and Syria. Remember, we did
Okay.
talk about that.
Yes, we did talk about how Israel and Turkey make strange bedfellows. You
Yes,
ever hear
yes. The enemy is my enemy is my
but
friend.
they are together in a lot of ways. Because let me
Yeah.
tell you something: all the countries in the Middle East hate Turkey and
Yeah.
hate Israel,
Yeah.
and they do make strange bedfellows. But I do know that there's kind of a quarrel between Israel and Turkey inside Syria.
Right.
But you know what Israel wants to do? They want to tear apart Iran from within, the same way NATO and the United States of Corporations wants to take down Russia, divide Russia into 4 or 5 regions, take their resources. This is what they want. They're expansionists. Israel's no different. Okay, so they want to take down Iran, to take down the mullahs, and put in a puppet government they control. That's what they want.
Yep.
But it's not going to happen.
I don't think
Because
so.
there's 120 million Persians that say, fuck no, we won't go. What do you think of that? I mean, that's pretty crazy stuff. I mean, this is, you know how long I've been anticipating this war?
That's
Dean?
hard.
20 years.
That's hard to. You have not been anticipating it.
No, I know. Yes, I have.
You didn't want
If
no
there's a
war.
guy named. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I mean, no.
No, it's wrong
well, you know what? Maybe I have subconsciously.
What?
No, but look.
You didn't.
Maybe I have subconsciously. Okay, because I got a lot of money invested. Damn it. No, but what I wanted to say was, okay, this is insanity because we'll go back to 2006. You know what they tried doing during the Bush-Cheney-Crime syndicate? They wanted to go to war with Iran, but they were stopped. Well, you know what they did? And Seymour Hersh wrote an article in the New Yorker, I think. He wrote an article in New Yorker, New York Times, I don't know. But he actually came out and said, look, what that administration tried to do was put Navy SEALs on boats in the Strait of Hormuz or in the Persian Gulf to make those ships fire at American ships in the water to make it look like Iran did it. To like a false flag.
Like that sounds like the Gulf of Tonkin.
Like the Gulf of Tonkin. And so he came out and wrote, this was in 2006. They came this close. He wrote that article.
Yeah.
He's kind of stopped that. But that's how long now Netanyahu and the Zionists have been waiting. This guy's had a boner for Iran.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I've got a boner. Let me tell you
he doesn't
something. Let me
like
tell you something.
any of the Arab nations.
Let me tell you something. I've been trying to go to war with Iran for a long time. Okay. I'm Benjamin Netanyahu, and I have a great plan.
Or Gene Simmons.
The plan is to take over the whole Middle East, fuck over Palestine, fuck over the American people, and trust me, you'll love me at the end of the day because I'm like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No.
Eat a dick, buddy.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's
I
a
know.
horrible person.
No, I know.
I mean, I just, ugh.
This war, I'm telling
I
you.
think I don't like him more than I don't like Trump. Because
Um,
Trump doesn't really kill people.
no.
He's killed one person that I know of.
Netanyahu could be worse than Dick Cheney.
Good Lord.
I know. Darth Vader himself.
Yeah.
He's the overlord. What's the other guy? Kill the young Jedi.
Oh, he's the emperor.
Your father. Yeah. Die, Skywalker.
Yeah.
Die, young Jedi.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, this one kind of kept me up at night because I wanted to see what was going on. Now, I did hear Iran did retaliate, didn't they, by sending drones over?
I had not heard that.
Where the fuck you been, for crying out loud?
I've not
Are you
heard-
in a bunker and you didn't know this?
No.
Maybe Netanyahu's in a bunker. I didn't know you're in a bunker too. Yeah, they sent over some drones. I think it was like tiddlywinks. It wasn't really big.
After this bombing last night?
I heard Iran
There's
retaliated.
nothing. I see nothing.
It wasn't big, but they did retaliate. But they're waiting for something bigger. So what's that bigger thing going to be? What are they going to do? What do you think? What's your interpretation of
Okay, so given the history of the
or your
Iranian
opinion?
This is my opinion. Given the history of the Iranian army, they are ill-equipped and very incompetent. And history.
You don't think they're more sophisticated than
I do not.
I think they're more sophisticated.
Okay,
than what you
but
say.
let me finish here. When Trump in his last regime killed that I can't remember
Somali.
his name. He killed a general over
Yeah.
there with the drone.
Yes.
Okay. Immediately after that, the Iranis tried to send a missile to Israel because there's no way they could hit us. So they figured, well, we'll just hit Israel, right?
There's no way they can hit us, but yet Iran's getting ready to build a nuclear weapon. How long does it fucking take to build a nuclear weapon? That's all bullshit.
Okay, but anyway, so they fired the missile towards Israel and they shot down their own commercial airline with like 250 some people on it.
That's kind of remember that, so I can't elaborate exactly.
There's nothing to elaborate
Well,
about. That's what
yeah,
happened.
because I mean, there's misinformation too. That's what they say, right? I do remember a little bit of it. I do remember.
Back
Okay.
then, I was not as angry towards Trump. I didn't care for him, but at the time, there was, he was doing well with the economy and everything was good too. But I don't see why this would be misinformation. This was all over the news, different networks and what have you.
I'm just saying.
So,
I don't.
Even
remember-
Fox did that.
I don't. Oh,
Well, I'm just saying.
I trust it now.
Well, Fox is on their side.
Yeah,
so
well,
the-
no, Fox kind of isn't anymore.
Not anymore,
They've
but back
moved
then
more
they
that
were.
way. Yeah, back then maybe.
So
But-
this is why I'm pretty confident that they're just not very good at war.
I agree. I think they're stronger than you think because they're not like Iraq. But hold on, let me listen to what I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do agree that they're not a threat to us here, maybe over there.
you're right.
Okay, now, all right, it doesn't take 100 fucking years to build a nuclear weapon. I'm sick and tired of listening to the media that says Iran's getting ready to build it. They're 2 days away. They've been 2 days away for 20 years.
Okay, so on that, no, it doesn't take that long. What it does,
Yeah,
what does take
you
long-
agree that that's sensationalism and that's more
Oh yes,
fear-mongering.
yes.
Okay.
But what
Jeez,
does
you're
take,
ready to argue for no fucking
I'm
reason.
not arguing with you. What I'm trying to tell you is
Can't
that
get laid, buddy.
it takes a long time though to get the enriched uranium that they need.
It doesn't take 30 fucking years.
Well, it might over there.
No.
And also,
I don't buy that.
Let's not
No.
forget the deal that they had made under Biden with
I think
John
it-
Kerry and all them guys, which I thought was stupid. But they had an agreement with Iran that they weren't going to try to make nuclear facilities for a certain amount, like 15 years or some
They were
crap.
giving them money too.
Yeah, that they gave them money to do that, to not do that.
Iran Contra. You go back to the.
Oh yeah,
80s.
absolutely. Oh no,
And you know,
I agree.
And you know, Iran and Israel do business together too.
They do, yes,
So
but
maybe this is all one big circle jerk.
probably. But we don't know. But I'm just saying that's why it has taken them so long. And then it really, right now too, I have no idea how close or how far away they are from making a nuclear bomb.
I don't believe a fucking word
But
the media says about that.
They still won't be able to reach us. What will happen, though,
I agree
is
with
they'll
that.
try to
They're
wipe
not a threat.
They'll try to wipe Israel off the map again
Well, then why haven't they wiped them off the map?
because they don't have it yet. Obviously,
I don't buy that.
I
don't. But see, like I said, if any country in the fucking Middle East needs a regime change, it's Israel.
yes, I agree.
They need the regime change.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I'm just trying to
They
tell
do.
you. You asked me the question.
Yeah, I know,
I'm answering it.
and I'm saying how I feel, that I think that's all fear mongering. Just like, Saddam Hussein had a nuclear bomb. Bullshit.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we know
well,
that.
we know that.
Okay, in the 80s it was Muammar Gaddafi. He had a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, he didn't have it.
I don't believe any of that. It's fear mongering. Although,
And they need the excuse to bomb them.
exactly. Although, this could have legs because that whole region could be at war. And you know
Yeah.
who does have more nuclear weapons than anybody in the Middle East? Israel.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they can have nuclear weapons, but nobody else
No.
can.
Listen, nobody else can have nuclear weapons like we do.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
we're Israel, and we can bomb anybody
I-
we fucking want to.
I don't know why. I don't know why all these countries need to have a nuclear. I don't know why we do. I mean, it's the end of the world. One bomb is all it's going to take.
Let me tell you something, Dean.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you. But if, and I'm going to lay this out right now so everybody watching that knows that 2.5 people that are left, maybe one at the end of this show,
Maybe.
and it could be the janitor. Okay, if something big doesn't happen within the next few weeks, I don't think it will. I think it's all just bullshit. If something big doesn't happen out of this, as far as geopolitical,
I pray to God that nothing happens. I do.
this could all be just
This is
fucking
horrible.
WWF, and they're all on the same side.
Oh yeah, could be. I just hope. I hope. I just don't want a war.
I don't want a war either, and
it's
we're both anti-war, but we've been talking about this since we've had our show, that this could happen.
Yeah.
And now that it's happened,
Yeah, it's terrifying.
you could prepare for, I don't know. I mean, is this Gog versus Magog? You know Gog versus Magog is?
Yes.
Now, Gog versus Magog
It's
is
biblical.
Israel versus Iran, but some people say it's Israel versus Russia. I always thought it's Israel and Iran.
Yeah, not Mesopotamia, Persia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
But some people kind of say it's Russia and Israel. But I've always thought it
Well,
was like you, Iran.
I'm going to tell you why they say that, though. I mean,
because Russia's going to turn on Israel.
no, this is a product of the '80s because during the '80s, of course, the big bad wolf was Russia.
Oh, of course. Well,
From the West.
Well, yeah, of course. They always got to. Well,
the-
now the big bad wolf is China.
Yeah. Well, whoever's the top communist country, apparently.
Of course.
So I don't go by that.
Takes a commie to know a commie, motherfucker.
So I believe it's Israel versus Persia. But once again, the people are doing this on purpose because of Zionism.
Zionism is more of a threat to anything. man.
In this case, yes, I agree.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
It is. It's rotten. It's horrible.
Listen, okay, so you want that to be whatever you want to be a Zionist, fine. Don't try to perpetuate it. And those Zionists should know better. It says in the Bible not to do these things.
And they don't give a shit.
No,
because a
it's
lot of them are
insane to me.
atheists. A lot of them are atheists. A lot of them don't even believe in God.
Well,
like,
no,
you
no.
think Netanyahu believes in God?
No.
And you
No,
know,
he does. He doesn't believe in
Well,
Christ.
I get that. I get.
But
no,
the
but what I'm saying,
Zionists-
there are Zionists that don't believe in God, but they believe in Israel has a right to do whatever the fuck they want and expand
most-
to any country. And you know, in the Middle East, they're expansionists.
Most of the Christian Zionists believe that if they do these things, that Christ will come sooner and we'll be rid of all
Yeah,
this.
I know.
And it's just insane to me that they just justify wars so Christ can come back. That's not the way Christ was.
Exactly. It's the opposite of what
Right.
of what Christ
It's
was.
insane.
Well, I know because they believe in the rapture, right? They
yeah,
they
that too.
believe
Yeah,
that
they think-
before God destroys the planet, they're going to get beamed up on a carnival cruise and shipped out of here somewhere to
heaven.
Yeah, to Allah, or
To-
I shouldn't say that.
Well,
They'll circumcise me.
Again,
No, I'm not.
I don't need that. No.
By the way, just for your information,
Had to throw that out there.
TMI.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled. I know it. I said them goddamn Zionists. I never
TMI.
trust them. Back in Packville, we had a few of them guys that went around and tried to circumcise my dog.
So let's talk about. Well, let's see. Let's talk about the incompetence of this cabinet that
There is
Trump
no
has put together.
incompetence. There is no incompetence. Never incompetence in government. Never.
Oh, okay. Well, our director or secretary of Homeland Security doesn't know what habeas corpus means.
I don't think we have habeas corpus anymore. Do
It
we?
doesn't look like it.
No.
But
no,
she
they don't
didn't even know what it
read
meant.
Miranda rights.
She thought that gave power to Trump to do whatever he wants. It's insane.
That's called a dictatorship.
She used to be a governor. How the hell do you go through that and not know what habeas corpus means?
Rick Perry had no idea what the three branches of the federal government were, or something similar to that. Ron Paul had to correct him.
Yes.
He was the governor of Texas.
Yep, I
but he
remember
knows
that.
everything about eminent domain. He knows that
Yeah.
the government can go and take
Take
over
your stuff. Yeah, take
He
your
knows
property.
everything. He knows everything about that, the
Yeah.
NAFTA superhighway.
So then, yeah, that was a bad deal. I agree with Trump on that. NAFTA was horrible.
Of course, it was disgusting.
I remember my dad was kind of happy at first because he could get Coors beer here, because you couldn't before.
I remember Ross Perot.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the boss, Mr.
Chicken
Boss
feathers.
Ross. I'll tell you what, those guys out there, they're trying to take your vote. They're wrong.
So then, you got Hagseth with all this nonsense going on now. Oh my goodness, he doesn't know what's going on. They put these National Guardsmen out there, and they were in a government building, laying around trying to sleep on the floor because they didn't have anywhere to put them. They didn't allocate any food or water for them, by the way. I mean, this is insane. I mean, because they didn't plan for any of this. They have no clue what's going on. And I'm going to tell you something too. Being in the military and having to be called into L.A., if you're in the Guard or the Marines, those guys are pissed. The weekend's coming up. They probably were going to go out and have a nice time or something, go out to dinner, whatever, and now they got to do this crap?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I would have been mad.
Somebody's anticipating something big, but there could be a big nothing burger. I don't know. Have you heard of any more protests going on? I mean,
Yes.
They're all over, but are they getting violent like they were a few days ago?
Not to my knowledge, but I mean, you got the governor.
Because I've seen videos of cops getting their ass kicked and getting hit in the head with bricks and.
I haven't seen that.
Well, geez, I guess you're going on another site. I guess I don't know. You're going
What site
on,
are you going on?
You're going on NPR.com. I don't know.
I check them out.
I go on social media where I'm
okay.
going to people like you and I that are just like tomorrow when you go and you post your crap. You're going to
not
show
gonna
me
post
whatever
anything.
or whatever. You can post whatever you want.
I don't post.
And-
I'm telling you, I don't post. I'm not on social media.
Oh, whatever. Okay. I'm just saying it's a hypothetical. Maybe not you, but somebody else. That's where
Oh,
I
yeah.
go on. You go on whatever
Okay.
site you want, and they're going to actually show you from their phone what is going on, as opposed to Fox or CNN or Newsmax.
Right.
Newsmax
is horrible.
Newsmax might as well just have a picture of Netanyahu
I know,
in
next
the
to
background.
Trump. Next to Trump, by the way.
Oh my God! I
It's
mean,
horrible.
Israel can't do no wrong for them.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You go on.
That's like going to Huckabee's house.
You go, oh, jeez, man. There's another one there. Fuck. He's asshole of the week every week.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
But that's what I wanted to say was that, I go on and they're showing violence. And I'm not going to listen to the Democrats. It's a peaceful campaign. There's people out there
No,
protesting.
I don't agree with that either.
Oh, come on. Right.
It started out like I said. They were the way that ICE is doing things is just. And what happened to the bad hombres? We're going after day laborers.
They are going after people that have, that shouldn't be here. Like
Well,
you said.
I understand that. What I'm saying
said
is,
that.
though, yes, but what I was saying, though, is Trump had said, we got some bad hombres coming in here. They're murderers, they're drug dealers, and all that. Have they caught any? That should be they would want that in the news, I would think.
The news, come on, the news don't like Trump. I mean, they have their own agenda.
Well, Newsmax.
No, well, Newsmax. Well, I don't. You know what? I'm
just saying.
And every time I watch Newsmax, they're showing something about Israel. I get sick to my stomach, and I can't watch it.
But,
especially now, they're like, "Oh, look at the great job Israel's done." You know, okay,
but
and,
Trump,
and this is going to escalate.
But Trump would love to catch a cartel leader.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Are they not going after them? I mean, you know,
I don't know. Are they?
You had Steve Miller ranting and raving. Why aren't you going to Home Depot? Why aren't you going to 7-Elevens?
Wait a minute. They wouldn't catch a drug cartel member because they're on the government payroll.
Yes, I understand that.
They're usually on the CIA payroll.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Who's backing?
We're not going to get any of the bad
crap.
hombres because they're on our payroll. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Well, you know what? We're going to find out in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, we're going to see
because
what's going to happen here.
They say that something big is going to happen tomorrow. Which, like I said before, I usually don't go by dates. But the only thing that worries me is the bomb. It really worries me. I mean, civil unrest, yeah, that does too. But what really worries me right now is the war with Iran and Israel. That could
really blow up.
That could really blow up. That's a bigger thing to me right now.
Yep.
And maybe this is a diversion. Maybe the protesting is a diversion. I know that protesting is not organic. It's totally synthetic.
I'm wondering,
it's paid for.
I'm wondering what this is what I really fear in the Middle East is retaliation.
That's what's going to happen.
But not from Iran. From Saudi Arabia. They have good weapons.
Saudi Arabia is a paper tiger. They're not as...
They were bombing Yemen a lot.
Yeah, but they bombed the most poorest country in the whole fucking world.
I know.
And Yemen kicked their ass.
And they can't stand Iran.
You're right.
They hate them.
The mullahs and the Wahhabis hate each other.
Right. Yeah.
They do. They're siding with Israel.
At this point.
They're fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah.
Nobody in the Middle East likes the Saudis either.
Yeah.
And they're, come on, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, gee, I wonder who put them in power. England? I say so, sir. They're part of the British Empire. Yeah. Yes, they are. Oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
What a big circle jerk.
It is. It's just, it's sad.
Yeah, you're right, though. Israel and Iran don't like each other.
I'm just wondering how the retaliation is going to come and where from. That's what I'm. That's
the
what
retaliation
I'm
is going to come from Iran. My question is, what's Russia and China
going to do too? Yeah, that too.
Is China now? Is this going to give China the green light to go after Taiwan and say, hey, let's see what America does? Because this kind of hurts China, and it's of course it's the BRICS nations, you know, and they're connected like NATO.
Yeah, it's
China, Russia, Iran. They're on the same team.
It's a scary, scary time right now.
I know, and so what I'm saying. I mean, this thing can have real legs. I know we've said that before on here. Maybe things are going to die down, but who knows? I bet your bottom dollar Iran is going to retaliate.
Right.
How? I think they're going to either blow up U.S. military bases, or maybe not, or maybe just blow up oil fields.
Well, if they're able to, they will blow up the military bases.
Or who
That's
knows?
for sure.
Who knows? Maybe Iran won't. Maybe a false flag will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could
and
be.
they can blame Iran for that.
Right. Yeah, it could be our own people.
Do you put it past the CIA or Mossad?
I do not. No, I do
something
not.
like that.
Absolutely
Right.
not.
Now we're talking, buddy.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
You're right on that. That one you could be right on.
Maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
crazy
really don't.
now.
I mean, do they have the capability? Don't they? I agree with you that they don't have the nuclear sophistication to launch a nuclear weapon from there to here. They're more of if they're anything in that region, yes.
Yeah, but even then, like I said, they screwed that up. They shut down their own plane. Their own civilian plane.
That was 7 years ago, though. This changed since then.
Well, no. I'm just saying this is what I have to go off of. That's all I'm saying, and it's just of my opinion. I wasn't saying that there's no way. I don't know.
It was 6